What if a law that affects your family, your children, and your freedom online was introduced, and you were never asked? Never consulted? Never even told? Because that's exactly what happened today. Asterisk something is wrong. You can feel it. You can sense it. And today, it finally became impossible to ignore. What happened in Parliament wasn't loud. There were no alarms. No breaking news banners flashing red across screens. No urgent warnings sent to Australians' phones. But make no mistake, what happened today matters. And it matters deeply because this was not just another bill. This was not just another debate. This was not just politics as usual. This was about power. This was about control. And this was about the direction this country is being pushed toward. Without the people being properly heard, inside the chamber, it became clear that something deeply troubling was unfolding. A piece of legislation was placed in front of lawmakers with almost no time to read it, no time to examine it, and no time to debate it properly. A draft arrived barely an hour before discussion. That alone should have set off alarm bells. In a democracy, laws that affect millions of people are meant to be carefully considered. They are meant to be examined line by line. They are meant to be debated openly. They are meant to be challenged, questioned, and improved. That did not happen here. Instead, this legislation was rushed, pushed forward under pressure, driven through the process as if speed mattered more than scrutiny. And when laws move this fast, the public should always ask one question: why? The focus of this legislation is the internet. More specifically, young people and their access to online spaces. The justification sounds simple. It sounds comforting. It sounds responsible. Protect the children. Keep them safe. Reduce harm. But when you look closer, the picture changes. This bill does not simply target harmful content. It opens the door to sweeping restrictions. It shifts decision-making power away from families and places it in the hands of the state. It treats parents as if they are incapable of guiding their own children. It assumes government knows better than households. That is a dangerous assumption. Parents already carry enormous responsibility. They worry about what their children see, what they hear, what influences them, what pressures they face. They already struggle with bullying, mental health challenges, and social pressure, especially in schools. And yet, despite all the talk of safety, those real-world problems remain largely unresolved. Bullying continues in classrooms. Violence in schools is rising. Teachers are overwhelmed. Parents feel ignored. If the system cannot manage those issues, then how can it claim authority over every screen in a child's life? That question sat heavy in the chamber. The argument being made is that online spaces are dangerous. And yes, they can be. But danger alone does not justify blanket control, because online spaces are also where young people learn, connect, create, and communicate. They are where skills are developed, where voices are found, where communities are built. This legislation risks throwing all of that away under the belief that restriction is easier than responsibility. And this is where trust begins to break down. Trust breaks when laws are rushed. Trust breaks when debate is cut short. Trust breaks when parents are sidelined. For years, families have asked for serious investigations into issues affecting their children. They have asked questions. They have requested transparency. They have pleaded for answers. Many of those requests were ignored. Many were voted down. Many were dismissed. That history matters, because when the same institutions that refuse to listen suddenly claim urgency, people notice the inconsistency. They notice the contradiction. They notice that concern appears selective. This bill does not stand on its own. It fits into a broader pattern. A pattern where information is regulated, where identity systems expand, where oversight increases quietly, piece by piece. None of these changes arrive alone. They arrive together, slowly, gradually, always framed as necessary, always presented as protective. But protection without limits becomes control, and control without consent erodes democracy. One of the most uncomfortable truths revealed today is how disconnected the public is from what happens inside Parliament. Most Australians don't know how votes are cast. They don't see last-minute deals. They don't hear the rushed motions. They don't witness legislation being pushed through under time pressure. They trust that someone, somewhere, is paying attention, but trust requires transparency. And transparency was missing today. Politicians often speak one way outside the chamber and act another way inside it. They promise openness, then rely on speed. They promise accountability, then avoid scrutiny. They promise consultation, then bypass it. This gap between words and actions is where public confidence collapses. A government does not exist to manage every detail of private life. Its role is limited and clear: to support economic stability, to uphold the rule of law, to respect the Constitution, to protect freedoms, not narrow them. When governments begin telling families how to raise children, what information is acceptable, and which voices should be filtered, something fundamental shifts. The issue is not safety. The issue is authority. Who decides? Who controls? Who gets the final say? Should it be parents, or should it be politicians? Today, many Australians watching from the outside felt a familiar frustration. That sinking feeling that decisions are being made far away from everyday life. That laws are being written faster than people can understand them. That consent is assumed rather than earned. The reaction online was immediate. Questions poured in. Why the rush? Why no debate? Why now? Why not consult families, educators, and experts openly? Those questions deserve answers. Instead, what we saw was dismissal. Critics were told they were overreacting, that concerns were exaggerated, that resistance was unnecessary, but history shows that rights are rarely removed all at once. They are reduced step by step, framed carefully, wrapped in good intentions. That is why scrutiny matters. This moment is not about fear. It is about awareness. It is about recognizing patterns. It is about understanding that democracy depends on participation, debate, and transparency. When legislation moves faster than understanding, democracy weakens. At the heart of this debate is a simple principle: families matter, parents matter, communities matter. They should not be treated as obstacles to be managed, but as partners to be respected. Young people need guidance, not surveillance. They need education, not blanket restriction. They need trust, not suspicion, and parents need support, not replacement. As this bill moves forward, Australians must ask themselves difficult questions. What kind of country do we want to be? One that empowers families, or one that centralizes control? One that trusts its citizens, or one that manages them? Democracy does not disappear overnight. It fades when people stop paying attention. Today was a reminder, a warning. A moment worth noticing, because once laws are passed, they are hard to undo. And once control is centralized, it rarely returns quietly. This is not about left or right. It is not about parties. It is about power and accountability. And accountability begins with the public refusing to look away.